next.
Look, like isn't that wild? And so for little girls,
Isn't it wild how there were people, black people, feeling like that all of their lives, and they were told and shown that they weren't beautiful and they weren't good enough because they didn't see a version of themselves being represented? Isn't that wild?
Now,
Welcome back to another episode of Rated Reflections, the show where we talk about music, film, identity, and healing, and how we see ourselves through it. I am your host, Raquez Rouse, and I am the creator of the Shape Campaign. The Shape Campaign is an amazing movement that I started. I'm a photographer where we celebrate beauty and women, we celebrate their stories, and overall, we celebrate their triumphs as well. I'm today with here my co-host, Miss the Body Positive Goddess, Ashley Golson. What's up?
What's up, y'all? I am your co-host, the Body Positive Goddess, your self-love coach and spiritual reflection guide. I assist women face their shadows, honor their bodies, and stand on business while they transform and heal. Okay, and together, y'all, this is our space to celebrate culture and integrate it. And because some conversations are entertainment, some are messy, and some are medicine. Ain't that right, Raquez?
That is correct. Yes. See,
Yes.
you see how she has that flow. This is my first time opening up the show. And I was like, I'm going to say it with that much eloquence and grace. And I'm like, my mind started jumbling over here and over there.
You know,
I
you're
think what
good.
happens with me, I start thinking about what I want to say. And as I'm thinking about it, I'm talking, but I'm also trying to process what I'm thinking about. So it
I
just
do the
comes
same
out
thing
like,
too.
blah. So
It's okay. I do
anyway.
the same thing. Cool.
But today, tonight, this morning, whenever you're watching, this is going to be a little bit of a different type of show.
Yeah.
This is going to be a show tonight where I want to be honest, it's going to be something that I'm a little
Yeah.
not hesitant, but cautious about going into this space because it's very controversial. This is going to be a more of a current event type of show. I know we usually focus on like music and film, but I think it kind of meets at the crossroads, especially with beauty and self-esteem when those two are involved. Those are two topics that are very passionate for me and Ashley as well, the Body Positive
Yes.
Goddess. So I think it's super important and kind of like a responsibility to weigh in on it and to have a conversation
Absolutely.
to just at least express our perspectives on it.
Mhm. We're
So tonight
reflecting.
we're reflecting,
We're
exactly.
reflecting. Yes.
So tonight we're going to be discussing the recent conversation that Nicki Minaj had with Erica Kirk on the, I think it was like a Turning Point USA rally or event
Yeah.
that they had, a conference or something. And we're going to be discussing just a small portion. So I do want to start by saying for all of those new visitors, we are with the Rated Reflections. We want to keep this a affirming, uplifting, high vibrational space. So this is not the space to have stand-up wars and all these things and to tear down people. So I like to stick with the philosophy that we are going to attack the argument, not the person.
That's
So
right.
with that being said, anything that is said here today, this morning, tonight, whenever you're watching, it's only views and opinions of the people that are speaking. And you're more than welcome to weigh in the comment section if you have any
Mhm.
further feedback or any
Some
things you want to
pushback.
add for context, pushback.
But keep it
But
cute.
this is keep it cute. But most of all, it's going to be based on
Yeah.
our perspectives and our
Yes.
opinions. All
Yeah.
right.
Absolutely.
With that said, I do want to start before we jump into the things of the things. I want to start out with talking a little bit about who Nicki Minaj is for those who may not be super familiar with her. I know for myself, I'm not a like vivid listener of her music, but I've heard a few songs by her. So I just want to give you all a briefing on who she is so we can go from there. So Nicki Minaj, she was born in Trinidad and Tobago and she was raised in Queens, New York. She got her start in the early 2000s with mixtapes and signed to Young Money early on in her career. She's known for her hyper stylized personas, most known as the Barbie or Harajuku Barbie. She is widely considered praised to be one of the top MCs of the hip hop game for women specifically. Anything you want to add about her, Ashley?
No. She's good at what she does. She's a great rapper. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's all I would add.
I will say my first introduction to Nicki Minaj was in 2008. I'll never forget 2008. I was in the 7th grade. And no, excuse me, I was in the 8th grade. 2008, I was in the 8th grade. And my cousin, she used to listen to her a lot on MySpace back in the
Mhm.
MySpace days. And I'm going to insert the photo of the Nicki Minaj that I remember at that time
Mhm.
on the screen. But that's my first introduction. I really didn't know much about her. And then I
Mhm.
realized she came into more prominence like in like the 2009, 2010
Yeah, yeah.
era. What was
Mm.
your introduction to her?
Mine was like Pink Friday,
Okay.
the Pink
So
Friday
was that
album.
2010,
I
11,
think it was
something
like
like that?
2010, but I did
Hmm.
remember some of my classmates talking about her when I was, yeah, about 2009. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, when Nicki
Hmm.
first came out.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, tonight's conversation, and actually, have you seen the entire interview in its
I only seen the
entirety?
clip that you sent me.
Just a clip. So
Yes.
we're only gonna be focusing on one small section of this conversation. We're gonna only focus on that. We're not gonna get into the whole political realm of it all and the controversy about the politics of it, but more so the beauty ticks is what I call it. The beauty ticks of it. We'll get into that. So I'm gonna go ahead and play the audio, and then we're going to discuss it afterwards. So here we go.
Mhm.
Let's see here.
What have you seen that has been a struggle for young women today?
Something that I've noticed recently is that for little girls, I think that no matter how you look, we should be trying to instill into them to be proud of how they look. Recently, in the media, it's almost been like a push to, it's not just making young black children feel proud of themselves, but it's almost like doing that and at the same time telling other children not to be proud of themselves. And I don't want any child feeling that way. If we, if as black women, we felt that we were not being represented and not being admired for our beauty, if we felt like that as black women, why would we want to do that to other women? Amen. Why would we now need to make other people downplay their beauty so that we can feel, no, that's not how it works. I don't need someone with blonde hair and blue eyes to downplay their beauty because I know my beauty. Do you understand? It doesn't bother me that a woman feels and says that she's beautiful. Why shouldn't she feel that? Why have we gotten to a point where certain colors or certain kinds of people have to be afraid of loving themselves and loving the way they look? Like, isn't that wild? And so for little girls, I don't want what was done to little black girls done to little white girls. I don't want it done to any girls. I want all the little girls in the world to know that you are unique. You are beautiful. You are you. And you can compliment another girl. You can compliment another woman and still know that you are epic and amazing. So that's what I would say about for the girls. And I know I know my adults understand clearly where I'm going with that, where I'm getting, I don't like that. I don't like people making other people feel badly about themselves in any way. We need to nurture young girls. Yes, whether they are black, white, Asian, Hispanic, they still need to be nurtured. They cannot continue to pay for other people's sins. They haven't done anything wrong.
Amen. What have you seen that
All right. So that's the section we're going to focus on tonight. And Ashley, before I go over to you, I want to say for me, I don't want to say that someone doesn't have an opinion, that they can't make an opinion about something. But for me, the reason why this conversation stood out to me in a negative way was that I felt like it was the right message, wrong messenger to a degree, right? and not even necessarily the right message in its entirety. I think at like the overall broader perspective, I think it's a beautiful concept, what she's saying, but I think she's talking about the wrong demographic. I think she is the wrong messenger. I think that she is also being disingenuous as well about that,
Mhm.
especially the part about she doesn't want other people to feel bad about
Mhm.
them. And I'm like, well, there's a lot of instances the things that I've known of her, like I said,
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm not a fan as far as like, I don't follow
Mhm.
her career, music, or things like that. So I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible. But I will say, from what I have known about her persona and the
Mhm.
people that follow her, they don't come across as the nicest people.
Right.
So it's not matching the
Yeah.
message for me. So go ahead,
I
Ashley. What do you
no,
have to say?
I have to agree, but I would like to say this. This conversation is for the little girls who are still learning who they are, and for the inner little girls inside grown ass women, who are still learning from what they were told about their beauty, their worth, and their place in the world. So I'm gonna start off by saying that. And just to piggyback off what you were saying, Quez, um, it's funny that she brought that up. She didn't want other people to feel some type of way, blah, 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 because she is good for bullying other women. And we've seen it publicly. Just to name a couple of the girls that she has gone back and forth with, Cardi B, I think SZA, Lotto, and not only that, but she has
Meg the Stallion.
also Meg, yes. Not only that, but she has gone above and beyond, and I think she has gone solo. This is, to me, to my opinion. We could take our opinion and shove it, right? But she has gone so far and below to even talk about Cardi B's children.
Mhm,
To me, that is a no-go. I don't care how much you dislike a person. Do not ever bring kids into that conversation. So to hear her say something about how, like you said, the wrong messenger, I feel like the right message, wrong messenger, like you said.
mhm,
But the fact that she will go so low and talk about other people's kids and then say that, without even apologizing. I don't know what she's doing behind closed doors. But with that type of back and forth publicly, I do feel like you need to come out publicly and apologize. To
mhm.
me, it's not adding up. It's
Yeah,
not
I
adding up, Wes.
I agree. And I will say those, like the most recent things you were talking about with the kids, like Cardi B's kids, that was this
Yes.
year. So
Yes,
that's not
that was this
far.
year.
That wasn't like
Yeah,
10 years ago or something.
you are
That was like
absolutely right.
currently. So I
Yes,
don't know how much reformation has happened or
yes,
atonement has happened within that time for it to be a different, different
absolutely.
viewpoint now. But I do want to break down a little bit about what she was saying, because what I found problematic about it, and let me just qualify myself a bit here. I'm a photographer. I am someone that has spent a lot of my life and dedicated a lot of my work to celebrating beauty in different various forms. So for
Mhm.
me, I have always been very intentional about displaying beauty that is not necessarily conventional beauty. And what I
That's
mean
right.
by that is the people that you don't normally get to see on the main screen.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? In the mainstream,
Right.
the ones that are not are usually in the spotlight.
Yes,
And I have been very intentional about that. I feel like as a creative, as a photographer, as an artist, it is my responsibility to use my gift
yes,
to be able to help other people feel good about themselves.
absolutely.
So that's what qualifies me to talk about this today. I'm also someone that has also had my self-image challenges. So it's not like I am speaking from the outside looking in. Obviously, she was speaking more so specifically to Black little girls and Black women, but I still think that there are some things that do still cross and parallels. Ashley, you can qualify yourself as how it relates to you and how you're
Absolutely.
qualified to speak on this.
Absolutely. I speak on it. I'm qualified because I'm a human being and I have my own opinion. Um, yes, I am a self-love coach and I have my life experiences. Period. Um, I I have my opinion.
Hmm. Hmm.
Very passionate about it, and I just feel like if you're gonna I think what's pissing me off the most, Quez, because I'm just gonna say a little bit because I know you gotta do your thing, is the fact that she's performing. I feel like she's performing.
Mm.
Like, I feel like I have an idea to why she's doing it, but we're not going to get into that because you said you don't want to get into the politics of it all. But again, when it comes to talking about kids, I feel like that's just a no go for me.
Mhm. Yeah, for
Necklace.
sure. And I want to say this too for people, like I said, the viewers that are coming in and watching. I purposely want to focus on this part of the argument because I feel like this is the most pivotal part to me.
Right.
That is the most important. And you can go anywhere and find the politics and the gossip and the speculation. So
Absolutely.
I don't think
Yeah.
that there's a plethora of that going on. So I don't really
Right.
want to add to that
Yeah.
or contribute to that at all. But I do want to dive into. So I have her transcript here in front of me. And so basically, what she says here, she says, Black children. Okay, right here it says, she says, I think no matter how you look, we should be trying to instill into them to be proud of how they look. And recently in the media, it's almost been like a push to not just making young Black children feel proud of themselves, but it's almost like doing that and at the same time telling other children to not be proud of themselves. And I don't want any child feeling that way. If we as Black women felt we were not represented and not being admired for our beauty, if we felt that as Black women, why should we want to do that to other women? Why would we need to make other people downplay their beauty? So I'm kind of fast skimming through it and fast forward.
Hmm.
She says that so that we can feel no, and again, I'm reading it as it's written, as she was speaking, so it may not sound completely comprehensible.
Right. Right.
That's
You're
not
good.
how it works. I don't need someone with blonde hair and blue eyes to downplay their beauty because I know my beauty. Do you understand? It doesn't bother me that a woman feels and says that she's beautiful. Why shouldn't she feel that way? So the questions that I would have about that statement, meaning especially the part where she says that Black women or Black girls feeling proud of themselves is making other people not feel proud of themselves. I'm paraphrasing, but
Yeah.
basically
Yeah.
she's saying that Black girls and Black women celebrating their beauty is they want other people to downplay their beauty for them so they can feel good about themselves. Is that what you understood by what she said?
That's what I heard.
Hmm.
That's what I heard.
Yeah. So for me, it's kind of like this is the part that is frustrating and irritating because it kind of goes back to the whole trope of like equality for some people is a step down because they feel they are somehow superior and they
Hmm.
are inherently better than. So why should they have to basically be considerate of other people because they are the supreme
Yeah.
beings here? And
Right.
so we have to try to they feel like almost like accommodating other people is being an inconvenience for them. And by them I mean the white majority that we're talking about, the blonde hair, blue eyes.
Right.
From what I've always understood, blonde hair, blue eyes, I thought that was the Western
That's the
beauty standard.
that's the beauty standard. Absolutely. Hmm.
So it's interesting to me when we see a plethora of that beauty being represented in the media. How is it? How are you not feeling that how are you feeling bad about yourself? If anything, to me, representation is super important because people
Hmm.
that don't get to see how they get to see themselves being represented and celebrated, they're the ones that usually internalize that they don't feel good about who they are because it's kind of like, well, if I did look good or if I was beautiful, then I would see more of myself being represented and celebrated.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
I do.
So, and we just recently in the past, probably like decade, got into a space where we're seeing more representation, but it's
Right.
still not enough to the level that I feel like it should be something that's normal. It should be so much representation
Hmm.
that it's not, oh, this is just a full figure brand, or this is now this makeup brand has more shades beyond just the
Yes.
standard brown. You know what I'm saying? Like they go into the deepest of the
Yes.
deeps. And so when we can stop having those conversations as far as making it like this phenomenon, then I feel like we're making real progress versus it being something that is still, there's
Yeah,
still like a select group that is able to enjoy that privilege.
I agree. And we just gonna be real, like you was saying, historically, Black women have been taught that our beauty is not enough. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that, and I'm just gonna speak for myself, I had to grow into I had to build my confidence. Me just rocking my natural hair. There was a time where I didn't feel that my hair was beautiful, that my features was beautiful. And I used to, well, I still do every now and then diversity, you do your thing, but I will wear my wigs. But the wigs that I was choosing at the time was definitely straight or blonde hair. So, um, but I had to really look inside myself because it's a self-esteem issue. you know, when I was looking at myself, I was like, I don't like anything that I see. Nothing. And then when I'm looking on social media or the media in general, like you said, the representation is not there. And so for me to feel like, okay, I'm beautiful, people saying you need to have self-esteem, you need to have confidence. How? When I do try to be rock my natural hair and be me in my skin, it's a problem. I'm not beautiful enough. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm not this and I'm not that. But when we do be bold and feel bold and we rock our natural hair and we do this and that, all the things, it's still a problem because you're going to have someone in the corner saying, "Girl, no, put your hair up. Your hair is not that." No, your nose is too big. It's too wide, you know? But I feel like though what she's saying is right because like I said, I love children. I don't want any child to feel any type of way. We want them to we want them to have a strong sense of confidence while they're young, so they can take that into the world, right? But when it comes to our black babies, our black children, even the black women, I feel like we have to work harder and stronger for that because every time we try to step into this world and be who we are, it's a problem. And we always get torn down, with our confidence.
Mhm.
So I
And
do yeah,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, 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 go
No, go
ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead, no,
I
go
was
ahead.
gonna say I was gonna add to that because especially when you're talking about like you said, whenever like the black women you do want to celebrate yourself, it becomes a problem.
Yes.
I think it's almost like again, it takes us back to I've said this before. Black women are always the ones that are like socially they're like the ones at the lowest end of the totem pole
Yeah.
because it's like you're getting it from black men,
Yes.
heterosexual black men. I'll say you're
Yes.
getting it from obviously the white parts of the world, of society that are
Right.
racism and everything. It's like you really can't get a break,
No.
and it's like they're using a mouthpiece of someone that looks somewhat like the phenotype, and I'm using that very loosely because when I look at her again, we're attacking the argument, but the person that is saying this
Yeah.
does not look like a lot of when I think of blackness, that's not what that looks like.
Right.
She's sitting here with this long wig that I've not to say that there's anything wrong with wearing wigs, and I don't want to
Right.
I don't want to get in the space of like being disparaging, but I have to call it as I see it. Like
Right.
you, even herself, she refers to herself as a Barbie.
Mhm.
When we think about a Barbie didn't start out being representatives of Black beauty,
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
and
We
even
already know what it started off as.
the Black Barbies that we did get eventually, they still had Euro
Hair,
like
features.
noses, hair. It's just the
Yes.
skin tone that was a little bit
That's
darker,
it. Yeah.
and
Mhm.
so I like I said, this whole like to me, like what you were saying, Ashley, yes, the overall message of all little girls should feel good about who they are is beautiful, but it becomes disingenuous to me because you're using a real thing and
Yeah,
making it's almost like very sinister
yeah,
because it's like you're trying to use something that's a really good positive thing that sounds
yeah,
good on the outside, but it's laced with evil intent. I would in my opinion, it's laced
yeah,
with evil intent.
yeah,
And you're talking to a woman that doesn't look like the black women that why are you talking about black women's business to other people? Like how like in our households when we grow up, they'd be like, don't go tell them our family business
right.
to
What goes
people.
on
You
this
know what I'm
house, stay
saying?
in this house. Yes.
Or like you be like you have like a sibling, like I can talk about my sibling, but you better not
Yeah,
say
but
nothing
you
about it.
can't do it.
You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? So that's
yeah,
what it's like. You're not even upholding that code of sisterhood or even the code of just that pride in where you come from as
mm-hmm.
a you look like I thought you were a black woman, but your talking points aren't in defense of the collective. It's almost like you're wagging your finger at them saying, you know better. You're
Yeah,
not good. You know what I'm saying? And so even you, Ashley, let's talk about you.
mm-hmm.
You don't even you don't even fit that same beauty standard that Nicki Minaj is
Mm-mm.
displaying. So
Right.
how does that affect you? What goes through your mind in that space? Because you are a full figure woman, but you
Mm-hmm.
also are a black woman, but you're
Mm-hmm.
also not the type of black woman that has that look that Nicki Minaj has. So how does that
Mm-hmm.
affect you?
Which she paid for, which is fine. I mean, for me, okay, I'm in the space now. My mindset is different. But if you asked this question to the old Ashley, let's say 5, 10 years ago, um, I would definitely be I would feel torn down. My self-esteem would be hurt because I'm like, okay, and frustrated because I'm like, no, I'm not the Instagram model standard of beauty, but I'm still a beautiful black woman. You know, some of the women that we see on Instagram or just in real life, they do get their bodies done. You know what I'm saying? It's not always natural, but even if it was natural, um, I feel like there's only that one body shape that is praised. And that's like the hourglass shape, the long hair, or she gotta be light skinned with pretty eyes. But beauty comes in all shapes and sizes. It's not just that one look. But for me, it took me a while to get here because like I said before, I didn't like anything about about me. I hated my hair. That's why I started wearing weaves and wigs because I was told my hair was too nappy. I was told that you just don't have the look. You don't have a fat ass, which I don't have a fat ass, but it just is what
Who
it is.
told you? Who said those things to you?
People in the past and the guys that I used to date,
Okay.
the guys that I used to date. So my thing is, Negro, like you here, ain't you? So I'm good enough. I'm good enough for you in the bedroom, but I'm not good for you in public. So, but then again, like I said before, it's like a contradiction because you're hearing people say, "Yeah, you need to be confident in yourself. You need to love yourself and how you look." But then in the same breath and the same people saying, "Girl, you need to work on that. And you need to you want to pay for a BBL?" No, bitch, I don't want to pay for a BBL. That's not something that I want to do to my body and to me. I don't want it. I feel like if you don't like what you see, then you can keep it stepping. Now it's just there's a lot of people who either it's a lot of people out here who they're killing themselves to look a certain way. And it's not that deep to me. It's not that serious. How many females have we known to have died wanting to look like Nicki Minaj? We lost a lot of women putting themselves through the pain of the BBL or to look that way. It's not really realistic for everybody.
And going to extremes in the name of beauty.
In the
That's
name of beauty.
That's why I
Yes.
started the Shape campaign. That's what started the Shape campaign,
That's what started
because
the movement.
I saw
Body positive
women
goddess. Yes.
and the body positive gods, absolutely, because I learned of stories of women, young women, moms, people that had kids, had lives to live for, going to like the Dominican Republic and these places to get that aesthetic, what they call a mommy makeover. So they try to dress it up to make it sound innocent and harmless, but it's not. I think even back to what you were saying about the Instagram look or the Instagram aesthetic. I'm glad that you said
Mhm.
that you don't have that. And
No,
let's
absolutely not.
normalize saying
Wow.
that. Let's
Yes.
normalize saying that, but let's normalize saying that in a way that is okay.
Yeah,
Like, it's
it is
okay.
okay.
You don't look like an Instagram model.
No.
You do
I'm
not.
beautiful in my own
But
way.
like you said, you are still beautiful, not in your
Right.
own way, not in your own way. You are beautiful,
Period.
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 And I think
Period.
once I like myself, I am not a Tyson Beckford body type, but I am beautiful. I am me. I am acceptable. I am
You're
worthy.
handsome. Yes.
And so
Yes.
I think that once we get away, because I feel like for as much as like black women that are black, there are black women that love Nicki Minaj. There are a lot of black gay men that love Nicki Minaj.
Mhm.
And so they
Mhm.
adapt that same superficiality kind of, as
Yeah.
even like in the queer community, if you don't have a itty bitty waist and a fat ass, and you know
Again,
there's still parallels.
plus she paid for it.
They don't care about that.
You're
They
right. She
they
paid for
glorify
it.
it because the fact that you
They
pay for it
do.
means you got money. So you get money, you can do these things. And she's not the only one. So that's why I say
No,
I don't
she's
want
not.
to attack the
She's not.
person, but attack the argument. But
Yeah.
she is the catalyst, I feel, to push that. You have, like, it kind of takes us back to our last episode. You have this power and influence to influence people. And instead of using that platform to influence people to be the best version of themselves when it's not convenient for you, obviously you're trying to lace that in now because you're getting something. We
You're
don't know
getting
what that
something to
is,
yeah.
something or social
Yes.
capital,
Yes.
whatever. But there's
Yes.
something that you have an intent for. You have an agenda. So now you're
Mhm.
trying to do that. But if you were doing that prior to that and just celebrating beauty in its many different forms,
Right, right.
not this is just in my own way. No, this is
Yeah.
beautiful. That's
Period.
it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Beautiful period. Yep.
So, and I don't want to come across as like preachy,
Right.
but this is something that is super passionate to me because I do see, like, a lot of times, like, I'll see women just like going through life if I'm out doing something or whatever,
Mhm.
and you look at them, they're not the ones that are being celebrated. Not to say that they're bad looking women or anything, but I can only sometimes I look at other people and I'm like, I wonder how much they have gone through with their self image, because
Mhm.
they're not what the world says is beautiful, or
Right.
at least what America says is beautiful.
Dealing with
I
the
wonder how.
adversities. Yeah.
Exactly. Or
Yeah.
like if you see people, like, how many times have you seen a woman that's full figure and you'll hear somebody say, no, she knows she need to take that off.
Oh yeah.
But I
Shit, people
wonder,
say it about me.
I'm like, how much, how hard was her journey to get to that point where she had the
Yeah.
confidence to wear that
To
and
even
feel
wear
beautiful?
it.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Or women getting
Exactly.
their nails done. Sometimes for people, that means a lot to them, just to be able to
Mhm.
do that because it makes them feel beautiful.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So who are we to say that
Mhm.
someone else's beauty is not enough?
Right. No one, actually. I feel like no one has the no one should say anything about anybody's looks.
Hmm.
I honestly do feel that way because you know that saying beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And I do feel that way. I think everybody has just because you may feel that someone is beautiful or sexy or attractive, that doesn't necessarily mean that I will feel that way, but that's okay. That doesn't mean
Hmm.
that person is less attractive because I feel like it. Like my
Hmm.
opinion doesn't mean shit. No one's
Hmm.
opinion really means shit. That's
Hmm.
why I feel like you have to work on yourself as an individual, even if you wasn't taught that. I know sometimes it can be hard and you may not know where to turn or how to do it, but you really have to build your confidence and your self-esteem you have to do it. You have to do it because the world is harsh and hard out here. And
Mhm.
they will tell you, they will tear you down. They will tear you down. You have to be confident in yourself and you have to love you for who you are, what you look like. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter
Mhm.
what you look like. And if there's something about you that you don't like, you can change it, but make sure it's for you. Make sure it's for yourself. Not because of the woman or the male gaze, because I feel like a lot of women, they do get those procedure done for the male and the female gaze. It's not really necessarily for them. You know what I'm saying? For some women, maybe, yeah.
Mhm.
But I honestly feel like before they even do the procedures, if you have a BBL, that's your business. You do your thing, sis. I ain't knocking you. But I feel like just like they do a what you call like a psychology, you gotta see a
Psych
psychologist
eval.
before,
Yeah.
yeah, before the weight loss surgery. I do feel
Mhm.
like they should do that before BBL. It's like, okay, why are you really doing this? You know what I'm saying? Because I heard that once you start, for some women, they can't stop. They will always keep going back, back and back, back, to the drawing board because they feel like it's not perfect. Like, no, no, oh, my booty dropping. Oh no, this ain't it.
And to my understanding, that's
You
one of the
know,
most dangerous procedures
it's
of
the
all the
most
cosmetic procedures.
dangerous, and yes, you will lose your
Mhm.
life. And there's
Mhm.
some of us here watching this episode that probably almost lost their life because they decided to go about, and some people regret it. They regret getting the BBL.
Mhm.
They regret it.
And I want to say this too, just to make a point. I'm not
Mhm.
saying that that's what Nicki Minaj has done. I don't know her medical history, so I'm not the
Mhm.
person to even imply that.
Mhm.
But all I can say is that beauty has a lot of smoke and mirrors. And
Yes.
being someone that is a photographer, I do
Yeah.
understand the power of smoke and mirrors. And there's a lot you
Yeah.
can do to make someone look perfect
Yes.
or
Especially
flawless.
online. Yes.
Hmm.
Especially.
And I want to also add back to what you were saying. Actually, you said that there are people that are unaliving themselves in the name of beauty, basically because they don't look like they feel they should look.
Mhm.
And some people would look at that on the outside and they would say, "Oh, well, if that's all that it takes for you to unalive yourself, then you really got bigger problems because that's not something to unalive yourself over." But I'm not even here to say that beauty is everything. I'm not saying that beauty is everything, but I am saying it's important to look in the mirror and feel beautiful.
Mhm.
That I want to say that again. It is important to look in the mirror and to feel beautiful.
Absolutely.
Doesn't mean you're going to always like everything that you see. Doesn't
Yeah.
mean that every day you're going to feel at the top of the mountain. But I
No.
think it's important to have a overall, you should have more days where you do like what you see than you
Yes.
don't. And
Have
if
a
you are,
healthy Yes. I'm sorry, babe.
mhm.
Go ahead. Go
No, go
ahead.
ahead.
Have a healthy relationship with yourself.
Healthy relation. What does that look like? Help us understand what that
Self-love.
means.
Self-love, self-love, self-love. I'm not talking about like we always talk about the bubble baths and face masks. Yes, that's a part of it. But get to the root issue to why you aren't loving yourself the way that you feel you should. And like you said, Raquez, every day, like body positivity, every day you're not gonna love yourself or like yourself. You know what I'm
Mhm,
saying?
mhm,
And it goes deeper than just the physicality of a person. You gotta
mhm,
love the way s- your likes, you gotta know your likes and dislikes. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get to know you. You gotta heal shit. And I feel like a lot of us out here are trying to not, and I can say this too. I'm damn sure used avoidance um just to kind of skip over the healing part of not facing Ashley, like the inner child, the inner girl, the inner little girl in me, right? And just loving on her. What happened? Why aren't you happy with what you see? Who told you that?
mhm,
Forgive them and forgive yourself for allowing that to happen, whatever the case may be. Like, you have to go deep within your psyche.
mhm,
You have to heal and let shit go. You know what I'm saying? And it's not easy. I'm not saying healing is easy because it's not. Shit, we all ain't that right, Quiz? Therapy, none of that stuff is easy, but you have to heal to release. And um to learn how to love on you. Just like people be so quick to get a man or get a boo thing and you want to get to know and love on them. No, you have to do that to yourself first. You have
And
to do that to yourself first.
I'll add on to that by just saying, there's something that Nicki Minaj said in her conversation. She said unique. She said, "I want all
Yeah.
the little girls in the world to know that you are unique. You are beautiful. You are, and you can compliment another girl." And I wonder when she made that statement, I think about, because I don't see a lot of diversity when, like you were saying, with the beauty, it's like the
Mm-hmm.
hourglass, everyone, it's like the same aesthetic.
The
Even like when you look
same
at like these like
aesthetic.
websites like fast fashion, like the Fashion
Yeah.
Novas and the Sheens,
The
the
same
women
model.
they don't look like
No,
the women that
me.
are purchasing the stuff,
Exactly.
you
Exactly. And it's
know?
frustrating.
And I know that with
Yes.
Sheen, they have like a feature where it'll show you pictures of people that actually bought it that don't look
Mhm.
like the model. And I think that that's a lot more helpful for people that are buying the stuff
Yeah,
because
because
it's
you want
like
to see what it looks like on you.
you can see someone that you can identify with.
You can see, yes.
And
Absolutely.
to me, what Nicki Minaj says, there's nothing unique about that type of beauty. Not to tear her down. Again, it's not
Right.
to attack her, but you are not practicing what you're preaching in a sense. Is what I
I
would
feel like
say.
she just said all of that just to get paid. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you.
And so when you
Yeah.
have little girls that see you as a role model and they see you using vitriol to lash out at people and to say things about other people's, you know, looks and things, even in the same speech, she called people uglies. She said, and the uglies. And I'm just like, well, how does that work? Because you're just now saying you're contradicting yourself in your own
Yeah.
conversation. So
The messenger. That's I was like, first of all, when I saw her up there, I was like, what type of foolery? Like, what are we doing for real? I was when you see stuff like that, that's when you know it's something deeper going on. And this is just a performance and it ain't because the shit that she was saying won't even make sense to me. I
mm,
was just like, ma'am, I hear what you're saying. What you're saying is cute, but you're contradicting yourself all up and around, okay? Because, like you said, Quest, we're going by what you've been doing in the past. You don't even like black women like that, for real. If you want to be honest, because every time you're going at it with other black women, is she a black bee? Like, are you serious?
mm.
Do I want if I had kids, would I want my child listening to her and or using her as a role model? Absolutely not. No.
And I would even add this to say, because the people, like I said, the people that are like they call the barbs. First of all, we rebuke you in Jesus' name. But the people that they call the barbs, a lot of them don't seem like the ones that have seen. I don't know many people like that because I don't associate myself with people that
No,
really
I
follow that kind of stuff, stuff anyway. But they don't seem very
wait.
likable. What's
Hold
wrong?
on, class, because you crazy. We not hold on. Say it again. You said to the bars.
We
You
oh
what?
we rebuke them in Jesus' name. Yes, we the power of Christ compels you. Let me get my oil. I was just watching The Conjuring the other night, so I'm gonna have to.
Oh, oh,
There we
oh! No,
go.
you didn't. No, you didn't go see The Conjuring. We'll talk
Now I
about that
watched on
later.
Amazon Prime.
We'll talk
Yeah,
about that later.
yeah. We'll talk
We'll
about it.
talk about that
But
later.
little side
Yeah,
side conversation.
yeah, side
But
conversation.
no, the people that are the barbs,
Hmm.
they don't. A lot of them, not speaking for all, I'm not speaking in
No.
absolutes, but just from what I have gathered about them, from what I've seen, they don't seem like
Yeah.
very nice or likable people.
Hmm.
And so I think it always starts at the head. Like if you're putting out, even in the lyrics, I'm not really getting to like you might know more of her music than I do, Ashley,
I
but
used to. I
just
used
the
to.
music I've come across, it doesn't seem very inspirational, aspirational to be your best self. If anything, it's about superficial things in life.
But that's what people like. People like they don't like to listen to things that has what's the word I'm looking for, Quez? I use
Substance.
substance. Anything that has substance, anything that basically tells people, hey, you know, you need to work on this within yourself. This right here could help you further your life. This right here is inspirational. It's giving you a word, a message. I feel like people, some not, let me not say all, but some people, they just do not, they just don't want to hear. I don't know if they just don't want to hear, but they like drama. They do like bullshit.
Mm.
They do. They do.
What do you think of the part where she says, I don't need someone else to downplay their beauty because I know my beauty?
I agree. Like we were just saying, you should be who you are. You should love you for who you are. Like you don't have to downplay it because you know who you look, you know who you are, you know your beauty, and that's that. I don't have to have you should I feel like no one should downplay who they are or their beauty. Why? For what? Be you. Be
But
you.
my question would be, when did Black women ever say that?
I
When
never
did
heard
Black women ever tell someone that they shouldn't feel beautiful about or proud of who they are?
I've never heard it.
I haven't. If you have in the comments, please
I
let
ain't
me
never
know, because I've
never
never
heard
heard that. If
I've never
anything,
heard it.
if anything, it was shown to Black women that they shouldn't be proud of their beauty,
Yes.
because to me the absence of representation is saying that without saying it.
That's true.
When you have a lot of people pushing this persona of even like with like the relaxers and contacts and all
Yeah.
these things,
Oh
it's like
yeah.
you are inadvertently telling people to not celebrate or not to feel good about what they have naturally.
And not only that, quiz, but let's talk about the bleaching.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm just kind of like, do you not know that they will literally unalive people to get what you have, the melanin that you naturally have? Don't you think they will unalive people just to get the melanin?
They being who?
They, I'll say some white people.
Mm-hmm.
Some white people, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
It's interesting because they usually want the features that Black women
They
have
want
inherently,
it. Yes.
usually like the
Yeah.
the lips and the booties and.
But just like me, like I told you, I'm
Mm-hmm.
a Black girl with no booty. There are white women with booties naturally.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's like we can't really just slap that on like, hey, yeah, that's a Black girl thing. Well, we can
Mm-hmm.
with some shit. But what I'm saying is, I feel like the people want what they don't have. You know what I'm saying? Like people really
Mm-hmm.
want what they don't have, and they just won't love what they have.
Let's try to find something in her conversation, and let's try to use our imagination, if we have to try
Hmm.
to find something in her conversation that is worth saving or worth saying that was a good thing she said. Is there anything that you can do? I need to play it again. Is there anything that you heard that you feel like is something worthwhile having substance and merit?
Replay it.
All right.
Yeah, replay because I want to make shit up.
And a struggle for young women today.
Something that I've noticed recently is that for little girls, I think that no matter how you look, we should be trying to instill into them to be proud of how they look.
Okay.
Recently, in the media, it's almost been like a push to, it's not just making young Black children feel proud of themselves, but it's almost like doing that and at the same time telling other children not to be proud of themselves.
So that part right there, when she says there are recently, making black children to feel proud of themselves and all of that. I'm just trying to understand where, like, what do you mean by when you say it's to make other people not feel? Sometimes the truth hurts. Sometimes the truth doesn't make you look good. That's just the way it is. Doesn't mean that it's not valuable information. So if by teaching black kids to feel beautiful and teaching them the real history of how this country came to be, if that makes other people look unfavorable, like they say, there's no perfect victim. We all have things that aren't going to always make us look 100% innocent or great in every light.
Right, right.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not necessary to expose.
Right.
When you think about like beauty politics, even when we were talking about the NDRE, how she was nominated for 4 Grammys for her first album, and Alicia Keys walked home with Grammys, but not her.
Right.
So we have to be honest. I know Alicia Keys is a black woman also, but it's still, it kind of goes with the whole thing of the aesthetic of like
We
the
can talk about
beauty.
Beyonce. Same with Beyonce. She's lighter. She rocks her hair straight. I mean, we all could. You can change your hair, but aesthetically, to the media, she's aesthetically pleasing to the eye, to the media.
But I think the difference with Beyonce is I think she has opened up space for black girls and boys to feel beautiful.
She has.
I
Absolutely.
feel like she's used her work to uplift people.
She has.
So
I'm not saying that whatsoever, but I'm saying the people that put her in power, like where she's at now, they seen her beauty and they used it to her advantage.
I think it's bigger than her.
It is. It's definitely bigger than her.
I think it's bigger than her, but I do think some people, they play into it to the point where they drink the Kool-Aid, so to speak, and they think that they're bigger than the program.
Yes.
Not understanding that they are a part of the system. Even like with like, to my understanding, and I'm not super versed in it, so I don't want to get too heavy in it. But Nicki Minaj and Lil Kim, they kind of like had a thing.
Oh yeah.
And it was almost like Nicki Minaj was not really showing a lot of respect for Lil Kim. But now we look at Lil Kim today and we see her as a shell of her former self, who was so beautiful.
So beautiful.
And it makes me wonder, is Nicki Minaj on that same track? So you become what you criticize yourself in a way. Well, on her part is what I'm saying, with Nicki Minaj's part.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
But let me play a little bit more.
Themselves. And I don't want any child feeling that way. If as black women, we felt that we were not being represented and not being admired for our beauty.
Don't say we, just say y'all, because that's what you really want to say. And people would probably respect it a lot more if you were just upfront about it and stop, trying to beat around the bush. But let's continue.
If we felt like that as black women, why would we want to do that to other women? Amen. Why would we now need to make other people downplay?
Why would you do that to other black women? Nicki, Meg the Stallion, SZA. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're doing the same thing you're saying that people are doing. It's like, for me, it's okay if you do it to other black women.
Yeah, you can do it.
But if you don't do it, but if you do it to white women, it's a problem.
Yeah.
And I've not seen you do it to any white women.
No, she hasn't.
There are no white women in your space that can compete with you.
I haven't seen it. Not saying she hasn't, but I haven't seen it.
So what are you talking about?
Their beauty.
It's a good thing. Never mind. Just great.
So that we can feel. No, that's not how it works. I don't need someone with blonde hair and blue eyes to downplay their beauty because I know my beauty. Do you understand? It doesn't bother.
Insert photos. Well, you have blonde hair sometimes and blue eyes. So you look like the beauty that you don't need them to downplay. Of course you don't, because you look like them. Oh, okay. I digress.
And let me say this real quick.
Mhm.
Like I said, for me, I feel like it's a self-esteem issue because I wore the contacts. I wore the wigs.
Mhm.
So, and I understand you want to be diverse, whatever. But girl,
Mhm.
go ahead, Quiz.
You know, it's interesting. I used to wear contacts. I
I
used to wear these green contacts, and I used to thought I was so fierce. This was like my early 20s, and I would sometimes do my little smoky eye
I
and like
remember
really pop.
that.
You remember them days?
Yes.
And it got to the point, and I'm glad that I reached this level, but it got to a point where I used to get people stopping me.
Yeah.
They would stop me to tell me your eyes are so beautiful.
Yes.
I would love to have eyes like that. And it made me feel a little guilty.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be intentional to tell them, these not my real eyes. Like,
Yeah.
this ain't real.
Yeah.
Because there were people that really thought that. Because they look really natural.
Yeah.
And I actually got those contacts from overseas, like from like Italy or somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like I was betraying myself.
Yes.
Because I was being admired for something that wasn't inherently mine.
Yours. Yeah.
It was a very sobering feeling, I would say.
Yes.
And I think there are some people that are okay with that, putting up that facade of like, oh, this is my natural beauty, and knowing that you got a pound of makeup on and you got up 3 hours early just to get ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that to me is not living authenticity authentically, you know?
I feel you on that because I used to, like I said, I wore contacts too, and I wore my wigs. I would see what or how people would react or respond to me just by changing up my look.
Mhm.
And it just shows just for my own, like just testing people just to see, and it showed me that people respond more to the European
Mhm.
beauty standard.
Mhm. Yep.
But when I had my natural hair looking like this, they were like, of course you have some people saying you're beautiful, blah blah blah, but I had got more of a response with the wig and the contacts. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And then I had to stop. I was like, you know what? I don't need none of this shit because I know who I am.
Did it make you feel good that they were complimenting you with the contacts and with the wig and all that?
At first, I didn't feel good about it because I'm like, this is not me. It's not me. I felt like this is not me. One guy, I remember this so clearly, like it was yesterday. I was at the mall, whatever, and this guy, he stopped me. He had a fresh baby. He was like, he looked at me in my eyes. He was like, "Oh my God, you are so beautiful." I said, "Excuse me." I was like, "Nigga, please." First of all, I saw that you weren't paying my ass no mind, but then you looked at my eyes. I had the contacts in. Then you're like, "Okay, oh, her eyes." No, they're not even mine, and you got a fresh baby. So say that for your baby mama. You know what I'm saying? Like people respond more to the European beauty standard. They do.
Yep.
They do.
Yep. All right, let me continue.
Bother me that a woman feels and says that she's beautiful. Why shouldn't she feel that? Why have we gotten to a point where certain colors or certain kinds of people have to be afraid of loving themselves and loving the way they look? Like, isn't that wild? And so for little girls,
isn't it wild how there were black people feeling like that all of their lives, and they were told and shown that they weren't beautiful and they weren't good enough because they didn't see a version of themselves being represented? Isn't that wild that the people that were telling them that they were ugly are the same people that were trying to essay them and do these things to them, and also wanted to inadvertently look like them and do blackface? Isn't that wild? Isn't it wild how you're the one saying these things and other people are looking and agreeing with you that look nothing like you? Isn't that wild that you are betraying an entire ethnicity of people that look or that would used to look like you, all in the name of whatever you're getting out of it. Isn't that wild? Don't you think that's wild, Ashley? I think that's absolutely absurd.
Continue.
Absolutely crazy. And so again, it's very hard to not attack the person, but we are attacking the argument, not the person. I want to say that. I want to put that out there because I think it's important to not get confused because it could be anybody else saying that. They'd be
It
saying
could
it'd
be
still be wrong.
anybody.
It would
Yeah,
still be wrong, you know.
yeah.
And I want to just circle back to what I said earlier about the message on the outside. It does sound good what you're saying. Yes, all little
It
girls
sound good.
should
Yeah,
feel beautiful. Whitney Houston says, I believe the children are the future. Teach them, show them all the beauty they possess
right.
inside. Yes, that
Like
is
you said.
beautiful. But
Absolutely.
if you're not walking the walk,
Mhm.
then you should keep your talk because we
Yeah.
don't need it. It's not, you're not helping.
Like you said, Imma say it again. Imma say this clearly. I don't want any child to feel small, but I also believe that Black girls, Black women still need more nurturing
Hmm.
because there is a deeper wound. You know what I'm saying? So, like you've been saying, the history is heavier.
Hmm. Hmm.
The history is heavier. Go ahead, Class. That's all I had to say.
Yeah, and I just want to add that because even what you were saying, like, I just thought about my sister and just using this as an example. My niece is 2 years old,
Mm,
and I got on my sister a little while ago because she was doing her hair and like she was just kind of joking with her, but she was saying, "Your kitchen nappy, ain't it?" She was telling that to my niece,
mhm.
and I told her, I said, "Stop that!
Yeah,
Don't tell her that. Don't." Yes, we in the Black community we use the word nappy.
we use
It doesn't,
kitchen and all that,
you're
yes.
right, but don't infiltrate her with that
Yeah,
because yes, that's what we may say, but you don't have to keep perpetuating the same cycle
yeah,
and teaching her that her hair is nappy. That doesn't have a good connotation, obviously, but it's like you are not helping her to feel good about her natural hair, her beauty. Like I'm not in a white household. I've never been raised in a white household, but I don't think they talk to their little girls like that.
no,
I don't
absolutely
think that they
not.
teach their little girls that
Yeah,
this part of you is not beautiful or this part of you is not good enough.
yeah,
So let little girls and little boys, let them feel beautiful. Let them see their potential and realize how special and magnificent they are. And no, telling one group of people they are beautiful does not inadvertently tell another group that they are not beautiful or they shouldn't feel proud of their beauty. But all we've ever been taught is that they are beautiful. We've seen
yeah,
that. They've shown it. There's a song on Solange's album, A Seat at the Table. There's a interlude by Tina, her mom, and she says in the interlude, she's like, when they say, "Oh, that we want to celebrate and be proud of black culture," they say, "Oh, that's reverse racism." And it's like, no, it's not. It's not reverse racism. It's just we are being proud. All we've ever been taught is is white history.
yeah,
So that is to oppress me, to not make me feel proud of who I am, to
right,
tell me, "Oh, you shouldn't be proud and celebrate yourself. You shouldn't be out loud proud about being black."
yeah,
No, you should be because you've been told for so long to not be proud. You've been told to sit down and shut up about it. And
yeah,
that's what, once you should sit down and shut up about it, that's when the cycles repeat themselves because people forget about their history.
mhm.
They forget about it.
And they know who we are. White people see it, they know. But some of us Black people, we don't know. We just don't know. We're so brainwashed. You know what I'm saying? So, um, because a lot of us, we just learned how to survive, um, but never learned how to feel safe, seen, or celebrated. So we just do not know that we're really gods and goddesses for real. Mhm.
This conversation for me, like I said, was something that I usually don't I usually just watch from the distance or watch in the background and hear other people's perspectives on things. But I did feel like this was something that was important to talk about because it definitely has a crossroads with me when it comes to beauty and self-esteem and that whole space. That's something that's super passionate
Mm-hmm.
for me. And
Yeah.
I think it's important because there are a lot of people. I always say this: self-esteem is so important. Healthy self-esteem is so important. It is one of the reasons why we have certain friendships that stay in, relationships, jobs. What we think we can do is all tied to how we feel about ourselves. I am so adamant about that. And like I always say, I'm not a psychologist, but I do feel like a lot of the things that we deal with in life are a direct reflection of our self-esteem and how we feel about ourselves, what we think we deserve.
I agree.
It'd be all of the things. So for me, this hits home.
Yeah. I
It
agree.
hits home for sure. Ashley, did you have any closing remarks that you wanted to make?
I would like to say that that this again, this video or this message, because this is a message, right? Is it like I said, it's not just for little girls, it's for the inner little girls inside of grown women. you know, um, and just pay attention, not just what people say, but like you said, how they live, far as like role models and stuff like that. And just choose role models who show love and accountability, of course, with the self-love and all of that. But
Mhm.
um y'all really gotta learn how to love who you are and what you look like, basically what I'm saying. And don't look outside of you for that. Don't look outside of you for that.
That part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stand on that as well. Why don't
Mhm.
you all jump into the comments? Let us know how you feel about today's episode. What are your thoughts about the conversation that Nicki Minaj had? And do you agree or disagree? And tell us why with what was said tonight or today or this morning, whenever you're watching. Or do you agree with Nicki Minaj? And we'll see you next time. Again, be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Share this video, and have a great, happy rest of your new year.